Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I'd like to welcome you to our interview with Jon Fratelli from the Fratellis. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You're now in North America. Tomorrow is the first night of your North American tour here in Toronto. So how are you enjoying your time in the city so far?
Well, I've been for breakfast. it was a big breakfast. But I like it here. We've always liked it here. We've never had anything but good gigs here. You know, I can't say that for everywhere. And this has always been great. Especially last time, like a year ago. So yeah, we're always happy to be here. We're happy to play anywhere anybody wants to see us. You know.
Well, being that you're here all day today and then tomorrow before the show, is there anything that you really want to do while you're spending your time in Toronto?
Well, I'm on my own so far. Everybody else gets in tonight.
Okay.
If I'm still awake and they're still awake, then we might see some of Toronto at night. Other than that, I'm not sure. I'm happy just to go where anybody takes me, especially when you're sort of unfamiliar with the place. So we're game. We're open for offers.
Well, you were in Italy before the summertime, and then you're going to Japan in November. So is there anywhere in the world, because you pretty much toured globally, that you'd like to take the Fratellis that you've yet to?
We haven't really done much of South America yet. I think that's the last sort of place in general that we maybe would like to play some more shows in. But yeah, we've been really lucky. We've been everywhere. Have the air miles to prove it. We are incredibly fortunate. We have a comedy job. We play guitar and travel. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous job, really. A lot of fun, So yeah, we are sort of like a band for hire. We go where there's an audience.
Well, being that you actually have played those shows in all those other places, I know that now you have 4 records under your belt. So when it comes to creating set lists, how does that go for you? How do you choose which songs you're going to play which night? Or is there kind of a standard set list you play for each show? How's that work?
It changes, but there's a certain bunch of songs that we will always play. It would be kind of ridiculous to ask people to pay money for a ticket for a show and then not give them the songs that they're most familiar with, So they sort of make up at least half of the set, and then the rest we get to play around with and sort of have some fun with. And the more records you release, the more interesting your set list can become. But you still have to keep an eye on, or an ear on on just keeping people's attention, and really the best way to do that is by giving them something they're familiar with, and then slipping something new in. When I go to shows, I want to hear what I want to hear.
Yeah.
And I always feel people are perfectly entitled to want what they want.
Well, I read something in this recent Q&A you did on Facebook where Baz was kind of talking about how they want to play some of the older material that maybe aren't the hits. Is that something that you're kind of apprehensive about?
No, I just don't like them.
Really?
There are some songs that Baz and Mince would love to play, and the reason we don't play them is because they're not very good. I dislike them, and I can't remember the words, and I have no intention of learning the words.
Okay, fair enough.
They're going to have to play them without a singer, because I just cannot bring myself to do them. I never liked them back then, never mind now, So I'm sorry, guys, that's not going to happen.
Well, before the interview, I mentioned how tomorrow night in Toronto will be my first time ever seeing the Fratellis. I've waited 8 years for this, and I'm so pumped for it. But my UK staff actually covered you multiple times throughout the summer, especially at Victorious Fest, where you shared our photos, which was awesome. So thank you. Yeah, it was over in the UK.
I know, but it rings a bell.
You're probably playing so many, you don't even remember what's happening anymore.
Oh, no, that one was good. It was in the rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I remember that one. We
Yeah.
showed up to that. We've done so many this summer, and a lot of them have been smaller, and we didn't realise that was a bigger one. That was a lot of fun, actually. Apparently we were quite good, and I had forgotten. And it wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 days later when I saw everybody, and it suddenly the question arrived, was that any good? That last gig we played, and it was that one. And apparently it was. So there you go.
When you're actually playing a show, because you mentioned there not knowing if it was good.
I just forget very quickly.
Is that what it is?
When it's finished, it's finished. I might have had an amazing time, but it's gone as soon as it's gone, and I had forgotten about that one. Apparently it was great.
Well, a lot of people have told me that your shows are really live, really kinetic and energetic and sweaty. So
They
how
are.
does that kind of energy come for the shows? Do you get pumped up beforehand? Where's that spring from?
You see, it has to be. The only explanation I have is that it's completely reserved just for that time, because I don't have it any other time. I don't have it for anything else, and I don't have it even 5 minutes before we go on stage. It just arrives at that point, thankfully, and they're that way because that's all we have to give. You know, that's our thing, for better or worse. It is effort. As long as we have some effort, then it transmits, I think, you know. But that's all we have. We don't have much else. But it's not a small all, it's quite a big all.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, you're touring in support of your 4th record release, Eyes Wide, Tongue Tied. So just for the record, I know it was actually recorded in Los Angeles. So what was it like spending some time over there? What did you do when you kind of had some downtime rather than in the studio?
We made our first record there. Los Angeles was the first place I'd ever been outside of Scotland, and since then, which was like almost 10 years ago, I've been back. I spent more time there than anywhere else.
Really?
So like it's quite familiar. We come from a sun-starved place, so all of a sudden somebody lands you in the middle of LA and it's always sunny, and it's hard not to get used to that. So I like it there. Our producer works out of there. It's an easy sell. Plus, it was either LA in October or Glasgow in October. It's easy.
I think you're going to go with LA.
Glasgow, October's not particularly our best month. And so it was an easy sell. And I guess we would do the next one there as well, you know, if we have a next one.
There's a song on the new record called Slow, and I was reading a little bit more about it after listening to it, and you described it as a more mature heartbreak song, because it's very different for the band. It's a lot slower, and I know you were mentioning before how love's a topic that you tackle, but not as much in the sense that you did for this track. So just going to love songs, I know it's a bit of a stumper, but what would you say is one of your favorite love tracks?
There's a song called I Wish I Were Blind by Bruce Springsteen. And I've cried at that song more times than I really can remember.
Really?
As for Slow, I think Baz might have described it as a heartbreak song.
I believe it was in the track-by-track videos you were sending out.
We feel that we have to say something about it. That song does speak for itself. If anybody was to listen to it, they wouldn't take long for them to work out what was happening. Something's happening to somebody in that song, and it's not difficult to translate, you know. But I Wish I Were Blind makes grown men cry.
I've been doing something in our video interviews recently where I'll be wearing a band t-shirt. Today I'm sporting Trash. We're this awesome UK group who are a noise pop band. So we do this to support the bands that support us. So as far as bands that you've been really enjoying lately, who are some you could share with our viewers?
I am absolutely the worst person in the history of people to ask that question of.
I was going to say you can't go back to Dylan or Floyd because I know those are your go-tos.
Exactly, because that's where I'm going to have to go. I don't listen to music very often, and it probably seems like kind of an odd thing to say, but I rarely put it on. And if I do, it's old stuff, you know. I started my record collection at 16, and I stopped it at 17, and I've never sort of moved on from it. I've never felt the need to move on, or anywhere to move to. So when it comes to that sort of question, it can seem like I'm being difficult, and I just do not know. I couldn't tell you what's going on. Not the first clue. We go and play festivals, and there'll be lots of bands on the bill, and they'll be massively popular and stuff, and I won't have heard of them. And it's not me being difficult. It's not in my sort of universe for some reason. At the moment, it might change. I might suddenly become like one of those guys. Can you imagine?
Well, just to wrap everything up, outside of music, just for a little tidbit for all of our viewers, what's something that the Fratellis bond over that's not music?
Do you know, we're very different, and we always have been. We're a strange mixture. I can't think of much in the way of anything we have massively in common. Certain movies. There's a movie called Still Crazy, that the three of us like, and that's a sort of not a small thing to say, because other than that, I can't think of any other movies that we actually have in common. We're very different, but for some reason that works in some strange way. I have cats, Mince has dogs, and Barry has children, you know.
So you're all caring for something.
Again, I don't know how you connect those.
Well, it definitely works. And I just want to say a massive thank you for your time today. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And remember, everyone, you can visit us at amusicblog.com for all sorts of interviews, features, and videos with your favorite bands. We'll see you next time.